Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Asian stock markets saw gains on Friday, even as many regional markets were closed for May Day holidays. Brent crude oil prices remained stable at $111.66 per barrel, while U.S. benchmark crude edged up 46 cents to $105.53 a barrel. The ongoing Iran war continued to cast uncertainty over global oil supplies, particularly with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz and a U.S. Navy blockade. In the U.S., stocks rallied to new records, driven by robust quarterly profits from major companies like Alphabet, Caterpillar, Eli Lilly, and O'Reilly Automotive. Alphabet's CEO highlighted AI investments as a key growth driver. However, increased forecasts for AI-related capital spending led to declines in Meta Platforms and Microsoft shares. Amazon also reported strong earnings, with its stock showing a modest gain. Meanwhile, Treasury yields eased, and while U.S. economic growth slowed, inflation in March worsened as expected. Central banks, including the Bank of England, the U.S. Federal Reserve, and the Bank of Japan, maintained their interest rates. This report is from the Canadian Press. Fiddlehead Resources Corp. (TSXV) FHR announced its financial and operational results for the fourth quarter and full year ended December 31, 2025, along with its 2025 year-end independent oil and gas reserves evaluation. In Q4 2025, the company achieved an average corporate production of 1,306 barrels per day, marking the first complete quarter with full operational control of its acquired Ferrier assets. For the entire year, Fiddlehead averaged 1,389 barrels per day. The company reported $2.7 million in petroleum and natural gas sales for Q4 2024. Despite no drilling activity, year-end proved plus probable reserves saw increases after accounting for production, attributed to successful optimization and workover programs in the 4 months following the transfer of operatorship. Key subsequent events in 2026 include the granting of stock options, a 7-month natural gas supply agreement, TSXV approval for shares for debt settlement, a $700,000 principal payment on its credit facility, and the sale of non-core acreage generating $1.4 million in cash and reducing abandonment liabilities. The company is now focused on operational optimization to capitalize on higher commodity prices. This news was provided by Newswire.ca. Victory Square Technologies, Inc., a venture builder focused on healthcare infrastructure, digital health, AI, and emerging technologies, has announced its audited financial results for the year ended December 31, 2025. The company reported robust revenue growth, reaching $35.4 million, a 121% increase from $16.4 million in 2024. This performance was largely driven by its flagship digital health subsidiary, Hydrate Technologies, Inc., and the expanding VSDH1 healthcare platform. Operating expenses decreased significantly as a percentage of revenue, falling from 38% in 2024 to 22% in 2025, demonstrating improved operating leverage and the scalability of Hydrate's platform. Hydrate achieved $2.5 million in adjusted EBITDA and ended the year with a strong cash position of $15.65 million. The VSDH1 platform, which enables compliant healthcare delivery across all 50 U.S. states, has signed over 11,000 licenses, indicating strong adoption. Furthermore, Hydrate has publicly provided 2S revenue guidance of approximately $150 million. The company also highlighted progress in its portfolio, including Insu Therapeutics, Inc. and Possible Ventures, Inc., and completed a dividend of Wakalechad.ai. This news comes from Newswire.ca, emphasizing Victory Square's strategy of building, scaling, and monetizing platform-driven businesses. A multi-agency search operation is currently underway in Canada for an Australian hiker, Denise Ann Williams, age 62, who has been missing since April 15. As reported by 9 News, Williams last contacted her family, stating she was heading to Cheticamp on Cape Breton Island. Her disappearance was reported to local police on April 28. Authorities located her rental car, a Nissan Sentra, at the Parks Canada Visitor Center, adjacent to the Acadian Trailhead in Cape Breton Highlands National Park. This discovery has concentrated search efforts on the Acadian Trail, an 8.4-kilometer loop renowned for its challenging terrain. Police have described Williams as 5'4" with grayish-blonde, shoulder-length hair, believed to be wearing a dark winter jacket, a powder blue beanie with Antarctica written on it, an orange and blue scarf, and glasses. Search crews, including the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, Air Services, police dogs, and Parks Canada staff, are actively working in the rugged area, which is known for active wildlife like moose, coyotes, and black bears. Authorities are urging anyone with information or who has recently traversed the park to contact them. Global News reports that Amnesty International has issued an urgent alarm regarding the state of housing in Manawan, Quebec, an Atikamekw community located over 2.5 hours north of Montreal. A new report, commissioned by the Atikamekw Council of Manawan, reveals that approximately half of the village's 3,000 residents lack proper housing. This extreme overcrowding, with up to 21 people in a single home, leads to significant challenges, including inadequate water access, lack of private bedrooms, and negative impacts on children's education and families' mental and physical health. Indigenous leaders emphasize that this situation is not unique to Manawan, but is reflective of a broader injustice across Indigenous communities in Canada, calling it a form of systemic racism and a lack of public services. They connect the housing crisis directly to the death of Joyce Esequan, who died hours away from her community due to the absence of a local hospital. The report urges the Quebec government to adopt Joyce's principle fully and for both provincial and federal governments to make massive and immediate investments in housing and public services. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.